I was in 2 years ago, before I started maintaining Webpack, in your exact position. I actually got obsessed with Webpack, just being at like a really one-off contracting job, and I got involved because like I jumped into a new web project and was using React, and I'd used Angular my whole life. Well, at least the last year and a half before, and I encountered this beautiful, like, rich, obsessive development experience, and I was like, how can I get more of this? And so that's kind of where it all started. But I have been in your shoes, and so hopefully what I'm going to present to you today is really going to teach and lay a foundation of not only like, why are we using Webpack? Like, why do people use it today? What problems does it solve? What are the concepts, and how can you walk away feeling really comfortable? Because at the end of the day, really, Webpack's strength is the ecosystem itself that's around it. At its core, it's a very simple tool in terms of its capabilities, standalone. So, but yes, a little bit about myself. I'm a program manager at Microsoft. I work on the Microsoft Web Platform, or Microsoft Edge. I'm a program manager for Edge Dev Tools. So probably maybe about 30, 40, 50% of my time now, I'm also helping other companies or other teams internally across Microsoft use Webpack. It turns out, when I started, I didn't know that Webpack is the third most used JavaScript library at Microsoft, and that blew me away. It was also a huge opportunity to provide value. But you may know me as one of the maintainers of Webpack, and you'll probably see me on Twitter all the time, responding to tweets. That's kind of how I got my following, trying to help people. I also did a little bit of work with the Angular CLI as one of their core team members, and I helped brought Webpack to Angular in the Angular ecosystem, as well as just an evangelist for open source sustainability. So, like, a little bit about myself. I'm a former tech support rep gone rogue, turned software engineer, and I was just tired of not being able to solve people's problems. Every day I'd take calls, I'd work around, oh, this is a workaround, we're gonna fix this eventually. And it was just, I got tired of it. And so like I taught myself AppleScript, and then Ruby, and then it led to Objective-C, and finally Swift, and then I found like my true love with JavaScript. And I also just really believe in sustainable open source practices and community and outreach. And so probably like any of the things, you can find me at the Larkin. So feel free and follow me on Twitter, tweet at me anytime. My DMs are open, doesn't matter when. I always promise people I will eventually respond. It just depending on how busy I am, it might take a day or two. And I do have an Ask Me Anything page, so you can go to github.com/thelarkin/AMA. You can ask me anything you want. It doesn't matter. So what are the expectations? So I have some general expectations for you. And really day one is kind of setting the scene. Why Webpack? Just getting started with nothing but the command line. Understanding, how many here even understand how the NPM ecosystem works, or NPM scripts? These are things that maybe you just have been told, oh, run this command in the terminal. And if you're like a .NET developer, you're like, I've never ran a command in my life. And so, these are just some subtle things that when you are just talking about Webpack, you're going to understand, how the NPM ecosystem works, running scripts, really simple things that are going to be super valuable to you later on. And then we're going to talk about the core concepts. So I break down Webpack into 4 parts. And then we'll do a little bit of live coding and just really start from scratch. We'll add scripts into an empty project. We'll build on and start adding more functionality, more behavior, and really it's going to set the foundation for how you really have your build architecture, your build system. Things that you can reuse over and over again, but at the end of the day, it's really your control. And then other things like, what are the essential loaders and features that come with Webpack that are in the ecosystem, that are canonical across any project? And then we'll even try to build some very low low fidelity web applications and bundle them together with Webpack.